Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 20 video. Lots of awesome stuff to talk about, so just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. Starting with top 5 moments, here we go. Number 5, Ward and Agent 33 take Bobby hostage. They didn't wait long to explain what Agent 33 was doing inside S.H.I.E.L.D. If there's anything about him that you've been able to count on the back half of the season, it's that he's always going to lie. They said they were going to kill Bobby, but the problem is that Mockingbird is supposed to be like one of the leads on the spin-off series, so we know she's going to be fine. But what kind of chaos are they going to try and cause with that Quinjet? It was a big twist, but a lot of the WTF, a lot of the reason why I was shaking my head is because how did Bobby get separated from the other Quinjets and they not notice it? And how did they all leave the base with 2 Mays? May was on the other Quinjet, so they would have had to have left like before Bobby left, otherwise she would have seen 2 Mays walking around. As creepy as their relationship seems, I totally think that Ward is playing Agent 33. He has some goal in mind, he's probably just exploiting her. It just feels like their chemistry is too forced. Like if he was acting like a quarterback in season 1, now he's acting like Mr. Casanova bad guy. It's still an act. So we just need to wait for the moment for Ward to throw her under the bus too. The bus that exploded last week that we all miss very dearly. Moving on to number 4, no one wants to trust Raina, even if her visions are right. Shocking twist number 2, Raina was actually trying to help. She wasn't trying to deceive them. The bait and switch with Gordon was a little hard to follow, so here's what's going on. Raina tried to get Gordon to take Jia-Ying away, so she wouldn't be around and Raina could go meet with S.H.I.E.L.D. Gordon clearly came clean to Jia-Ying, so Jia-Ying had Raina held while they conducted her meeting. And it looks like Jia-Ying had always planned to use that synthetic Terrigen crystal. It wasn't like she decided on a dime. From the minute she knew S.H.I.E.L.D. was coming to Afterlife, that was probably her plan. Raina's past has come to bite her in the ass. Cal said that, she's not evil, she's not outright evil. It's just that before she became an Inhuman, she had issues with avarice. If she were a DC character, she'd be an Orange Lantern. And now that her vision of the craziness with S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming true, what I'm wondering is if her visions are always destined to become true. There's no way to avert them. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You learn the future, you try to avoid it by doing something different, but in doing so, you bring about the outcome you were originally trying to avoid. As if the future is always permanent. Marvel has not done the time gem yet, so they haven't really addressed the issue of changing the timeline. There's a difference between seeing the future and being a prophet. On to number 3, Mac bails on S.H.I.E.L.D. This is a really sad scene, but he did have that nice moment with Coulson where, even though he hated what Coulson was doing, Coulson was still like, we're really sad to lose you. He recognized how important Mac is to their team. This is the foundation for a lot of what's going to be going on in Captain America Civil War. You have a lot of heroes that respect each other, but just like fundamentally disagree with what's going on. So they split. They just say, peace, I can't do this anymore. I'm quitting the Avengers. The really interesting thing though is that Max said he's going to go back to the Destroyer, which is not the helicarrier if you're confused, even though they look kind of similar. He's going to go back to get his stuff, but that is exactly where the Kree monolith is. He made this big speech about messing with stuff that you don't understand. Does he know about the monolith, I wonder? As far as we know, that monolith is the most dangerous thing on the show right now. As far as they've explained it, they dug it up 100 years ago, so it's not something that they've addressed on the show before. They didn't find it where the Nazis found the Diviners in episode 1, so it's like a completely separate thing. There's not a lot of references to something like that in the comic books, so just think of it as another version of that Hydra weapon that incinerates people, only it's designed to only work on Inhumans. It's like a reverse Diviner. As cool as it was, shifting from liquid to solid, I think it shifts to liquid when it's in the presence of Inhumans. That's just its active form. We don't know if it has any kind of intelligence. As far as we know right now, it's just a tool like the Diviner. But I think it's kind of funny that Mac spent all that time shaking his fist in Coulson's face about messing with stuff you don't understand, and he's going right in the direction of something really dangerous that he doesn't understand. It's like saying you're afraid of fire and running into a burning building. On to number 2, the Patton Oswalt intro explains Theta Protocol. Sometimes the way S.H.I.E.L.D. starts its episodes is so perfect. This Patton Oswalt one is just so funny, so nonchalant. Like he's just humming along, just having fun in his bunker by himself. Turns out there's a giant helicarrier they're building in it. So the episode serves as another end tag to Age of Ultron. The helicarrier that we saw in the big battle was Theta Protocol. Some of the really minor things to love about this are Patton Oswalt's Star Wars sheets, the Call of Duty, and the lanyards. His character is like the quintessential Marvel collector. I'm sure he has a shelf with action figures somewhere. What else are you gonna do when you have an assignment like that though? I mean, you're stuck in an underground bunker. You're gonna have to have some fun somehow. And finally, my number one WTF moment, Jiaying activates a synthetic Terrigen crystal, seemingly, starting off a big conflict with S.H.I.E.L.D. The war hasn't started yet, there haven't been any giant explosions, but that's the promise for like this big 2-hour finale. It's gonna be a big Inhumans versus S.H.I.E.L.D. battle. Because of what she did, it does seem like Jiaying is the antagonist, but that's not the case. They want to cast a lot of doubt as to who they want you to root for. Because like the non-Coulson S.H.I.E.L.D. people are kind of dickheads, and the Inhumans could totally take a left turn and go rogue. So barring some crazy WTF from Ward, there is no clear villain in this situation. Although I don't think there's any way they're going to end the season without there being a villain. Someone will rise up and do something really terrible inside, these two big groups of people. Just to explain the synthetic crystals, she said that they made them because they didn't have enough diviners to last. But in reverse engineering the diviners, the Terrigen crystals ended up mixing with materia from the diviners, so you wind up with something that ends up being just like those Hydra weapons. If you were a normal person and you breathed in Terrigen mist, nothing would happen. It wouldn't affect you. It wouldn't activate any powers. The obelisk technology is what turns you into stone. That's what Hydra reverse engineered. But there was this big running thing in this episode of good people, replicating Hydra technology. S.H.I.E.L.D. found the Inhumans replicating Hydra tech, the exploit that they found with Deathlock. Simmons used Hydra tech to try and kill Ward. And Jiaying's weapon is also kind of like Hydra tech in that it incinerates people. So it's almost like everyone's a bad guy right now. How do you guys feel about that? Sometimes it's hard to know who to root for when everyone is acting really bad. But I think that just dovetails really nicely with the themes in Captain America Civil War. So here's my big question for you guys. Unless someone else steps forward, who do you think is the villain right now? Out of the cast that we have on screen right now? Assuming that, no Deus Ex Machina happens and some other big villain rises from somewhere that we haven't seen. We can blame Jiaying going crazy on all that blue meth she's been cooking. Make as many Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Breaking Bad jokes as you want. I always feel like the best episodes of TV are really funny and really WTF. Just like shocking twists, but also moments that make you just laugh your ass off. So here's what the schedule is going to be. Next week's episode is actually going to be 2 episodes jammed together. It'll be a 2-part finale, so it'll be like a 2-hour long episode, even though it's technically 2 episodes. So be sure to subscribe to get my video. I'll post it after the episode airs. There's all kinds of, Inhumans, bonus video stuff we can talk about in the off season. S.H.I.E.L.D. definitely coming back. And everyone's still wondering about Agent Carter. Hopefully they'll have some updates about that, but we have the spin-off series to talk about too. There's still a couple episodes left of Arrow and the Flash too, so new Arrow tonight. I'll post that video after the episode airs. It's going to be a really good couple of weeks of TV for superheroes. Just in general, I feel like S.H.I.E.L.D. has done a much better job this season than it did in season 1. It's been much more consistent. So it's going to be a lot of fun to speculate on what's going to be going on in season 3. Definitely more Inhumans. I think we can at least assume that. So while you guys wait for that stuff to post, you can click here to learn about the biggest cuts that they made to Age of Ultron, and you can click here for all my other Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.